Good evening, everyone. This is Ryan Hoyme, aka Massage Nerd, and tonight we have two special guests. Tonight we have David Palmer of Touch Pro Institute, and also Bruce Eatchel of Stronglite massage chairs and massage tables. And what I'd like to do is just give a little brief bio of David Palmer. David Palmer created Touch Pro Institute in 1986. Sorry, there's kind of echo. So, okay. David Palmer created Touch Pro Institute in 1986 after spending 4 years developing chair massage programs for graduates of his massage school in San Francisco. Palmer is credited as being the father of contemporary chair massage, Massage Magazine 1997. The American Massage Therapy Association recognized his pioneering work by honoring him in the 1997 National President's Award for this service to the bodywork professions. Palmer is also a developer of the first specialized chair for seated massage. Over 100,000 chair models on the original design have been sold since its 1986 introduction. Welcome tonight, David Palmer and Bruce Eatchel.
Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, excited.
Yeah. So we can start with Bruce Eatchel. So Bruce, you're the president of Stronglite then, right?
Yeah, and I was excited when we talked about the idea for the show and the work we've done with David. And, David helped. Stronglite was actually started by John and Lainey Lloyd, and they were out of Eugene, Oregon. And then we bought the company about 4 years ago, and I met David. And David was originally involved with John, and John was a great engineer, and I think the two of them, between David and John, they came up with this chair. My background was from one of the largest schools in the country, and I also ran a company called Bodywork Mall. And so I had a chance to sell all the different chairs that are out there. And when I came, I was really excited when I came to work with Stronglite because we liked that chair a lot, and I really always thought it was the best chair out there. And anybody that's doing any serious chair work generally leans towards that chair, and so I was very excited to get teamed up with that and get to know David, and so when we talked about during the show, I was just excited to be able to be invited and then be involved with David. And David has some great ideas, and he thinks about seated so much differently than anybody in the school system that I know in terms of seated and what it's for and what it's about, and as a standalone product. So I'm really excited to hear what he has to say, and thanks for having us on.
Yep, thank you very much. Now, David?
Yes.
Yep. So, how did you get to meet Bruce then? What was your first encounter?
Well, it was second generation, as Bruce explained. So the Stronglite, I'd actually worked with another company originally, Living Earth Crafts, which is where the first chair was developed, and that was with the original owner of that man by the name of Tim Everett. And back in 1982, 83, when I began doing chair massage or massage on seated clients, I realized that there was a need for a tool and began working on it with a design partner, a French cabinet maker named Serge Brissot. And we developed about 3 or 4 prototypes and took them up to Jim at Living Earth Crafts, and he worked on them for quite a long time to get a production model ready that was introduced finally in 1986. That was the original chair in a box that some people listening may be familiar with. It had 5 pieces that came out of a box, and the box turned into a chair, and it was kind of like the original transformer of the massage industry. And the chair was good, and that original design is the design that is the basic outline is still used on every massage chair today. But it was heavy. It was 26 pounds, which is about as heavy as massage tables are now these days. And it also didn't have a tilting face cradle. It was made all out of wood, and so when Stronglite got sold to another person, the new company owner did pursue R&D for the massage chair, and it became a bit of a dinosaur. So in the mid-'90s, it was phased out, and at that time, it began looking for a new company to work with, and John and Lane Lloyd were developing this new massage chair at Stronglite at that time, and I looked at 3 or 4 different companies who were in the process of developing chairs, and chose them because I liked them. I thought they were great people, and felt a real affinity for their style of business, and also the direction that they were going with the chair. It was a unique kind of structure that they were putting together, first in wood, and then later, and now exclusively in metal. And so I was very happy when the Stronglite company, when John and Laney retired, and sold it to another good group of folks. And so I'm happy we're working with them, and still continuing to tweak it.
Yeah, and with the Ergo Pro chair, that's what we're talking about now.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And before that, before you even got into massage, it looks like you were in social services. Why the whole why the whole 120-degree kind of switch with social services to massage?
Yeah, it was a big switch for me. The thing that they had in common is I'm still one of those 60s brats who thinks it's possible to change the world. And that's kind of how I started in social services. But quite honestly, I was working with, in the early days of hotlines and runaway kids and drug abuse programs in the late 60s and early 70s. And it was so awesome, I felt like we were doing nothing more than putting Band-Aids on folks and sending them out to get beat up some more. And although I do appreciate the role of nonprofits and social services in our society, I was looking for something that could be a change agent on a much more fundamental level. And so I became interested in massage because I needed a massage. It's not an unusual path for people I found in the profession, making it to the profession. I had chronic torticollis, stiff neck syndrome, when I was in my early 20s. And being raised a good Catholic, I thought that people just had their crosses to bear in life, and this was going to be mine. I oftentimes couldn't get out of bed in the morning for the pain, and I had a lot of constant pain in my neck and shoulder area. And then at one point I decided that was a really silly attitude to have toward your own body, and I began to work on my body, first with Rolfing, the early days of Rolfing in the early 70s, and then things like Tai Chi and regular stretching exercises, and then later, bicycling and swimming and all that stuff. And my early experience with body work with Rolfing is what led me to massage. And at the moment, I was, I always say I spent 10 years in social services, 5 years getting into it, and 5 years trying to figure out how to get out of it. And on my perennial search for what I should do when I grow up, I went back and looked at a lot of the doors that I hadn't gone through. You go through. There's more doors that you don't go through than you do go through in life, and one of the doors that I hadn't gone through was, I remembered when I was getting Rolfed, I examined the possibility of becoming a Rolfer, but I dropped it because you need to be a body worker first, and of some sort, or a nurse or a healthcare provider of some sort. And so I hadn't pursued it at that point, but I remembered that and decided to explore it again. And then the regulations were still the same. You still had to have some previous experience before you could train as a Rolfer. And so I decided to go to massage school and get some credentials, get some background. And then after going to massage school, I worked for 2 years in a popular spa in San Francisco called the Kabuki Hot Spring. And I cut my teeth on my first couple thousand massages there, table massages there, and then took over the school that I trained at when my teacher, Japanese man, went back to Japan. He worked with me for 2 years after I reopened the school, and and basically taught me how to teach it, how to teach Japanese massage, and that was the start of my career in massage. And I unfortunately never went on to to Rolfing, because each year that I did massage, I felt like I knew less than the year before. So I'm still the perennial beginner in terms of massage. And from there I started working because in my school I was frustrated with the fact that a lot of people graduating from massage school then, as is still the case today, never make a living doing massage. Then I began becoming interested in this issue of how to make massage more accessible. Just to finish that off, what I'll just note is that my real interest, as it turns out, was not in massage. I didn't actually know what what parts of me were driving the agenda toward massage school until a number of years later. I started massage school in 1980, and it probably wasn't until about 1983 or 84 that I realized that what I was really interested in was not massage, but touch. And the leverage that I was looking for was to make touch turn it from a pathological relationship with touch as a culture into something more positive. And that's why I'm interested in massage. I'm also interested in business and teach business and marketing classes because I'm interested in the concept of people having meaningful work. And so I'm also, those two visions are the driving force of my professional life: touch and meaningful work.
And since you've been around a long time, I'm not going to say how old you are or anything, but again, compared to massage back in the day, compared to now, how do you think it's changed or evolved, or do you think it's more commercialized now, or?
Well, I think it has evolved, and mostly in very good ways. I think it's quite exciting what that the cultural perception of massage has shifted, I think, very dramatically. And I chair massage deserves some credit for that, but certainly the greatest amount of credit is due to the American Massage Therapy Association, which in the mid-'80s was basically run by massage school owners who were massage people themselves. In the early days of massage schools, they weren't run by professionals so much; they were run by people who loved massage. And those folks were really dedicated to shifting the public perception of massage, which was at that time, of course, primarily associated with adult entertainment. So the massage industry had two major problems. One was the public relations problem of every time you mention the word massage, you got a snicker back. We called it the snicker factor at those times, as people imagine, the massage parlor aspect of the industry. And the second problem that the industry had was nobody could afford regular table massage. so the price point was very high, and remains relatively high today. So the issue was, how do you shift the public perception of massage into a more positive direction? And second, how do you pay for it? And the answer for the massage industry was to shift it toward healthcare, toward defining massage as healthcare. You may know that the American Massage Therapy Association in 1985 changed its name. It originally was the American Massage and Therapy Association. In other words, they made this distinction between massage and massage therapy. And then they took the conjunction out of the middle of the name, the and out, and turned it into just massage therapy. And the idea behind that was to give it this healthcare gloss, so that we wouldn't be mistaken for prostitutes anymore. And that was the kind of the direction set for dealing with the public relations issue, and to deal with the high price point. The thought was that someday, massage therapy might be a true healthcare profession that's reimbursed by third-party payments, and that's how it would become affordable. So that was the basic strategy. Now, it didn't quite work out, in all senses, but what did work was the shift in public perception that massage was only something done in seedy environments and out of massage parlors, and that was I think we made tremendous progress in moving in that direction in the past 20 years, and I think a lot of that credit has to go to those original folks in the American Massage Therapy Association.
Yeah, definitely. And then somebody asked, how adjustable is the face rest cradle on the chair?
On the Stronglite chair?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's decent. Let me just tag on to Bruce's comments about chairs. Now, I'll just tell you my position on massage chairs. Now, obviously, I do think that the Stronglite chair is the best chair because I worked on it. I definitely have a prejudice for it. But the basic thing that I tell people about massage chairs is that number one, the best chair has not been, the most perfect chair has not yet been invented. Every chair has strengths and weaknesses, and I just think that the Stronglite chair has probably the most overall strengths of all of them. But there are certain aspects that still need improvement, and the listener has tagged one of them, which is the face cradle. The Stronglite face cradle is what I consider to be the second best face cradle, or maybe there's a couple of other better ones. And in terms of adjustability, there are two things of the face cradle that are important. One is adjustability, and the other is comfort. And in terms of adjustability, the Stronglite is up at the top of the pack, but I wouldn't say is the absolute leader at this point.
David, let me cut in here.
Yep.
I also, to be fair, I want everybody to know that we are actually launching a new headrest in 2 months.
Yeah.
And so I just want to talk about...
We heard it first here.
Yeah. So we're doing a new... and I'm really excited about it, and there'll be more on the website, and we'll share that with everybody.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. And the second thing I want to say about massage chairs is that they all work for 15 minutes. So in a sense, it doesn't matter which massage chair you have. However, if you're using it, if you're using it professionally and doing a lot of chair massage, it does make a difference as to how easily how adjustable the chairs are, and how easy they are to adjust. It does make a difference in what's the comfort level of the customer and how comfortable it is for them. It does make a difference in how comfortable it is for a wide variety of practitioners who are working on clients in the chair. So most of the chairs are not going to fall apart when people sit in them. Although I do. Any chair that sells brand new for under $150, I think you'd want to test out thoroughly before putting too many people in it. But the high-end chairs, are all real stable, and they all do work, fine for 15 minutes. But what you find, or what I found, and having seen every chair that's been on the market and had a chance to look at virtually every chair that's on the market and the gamut of strengths and weaknesses, I just think that the combination of form and function, convenience, adjustability, comfort, both for the practitioner and the customer, are really best treated in the Stronglite chair. and I could, go into extensive detail and take up the whole hour just talking about what are good things and bad things, characteristics of chairs. But I did know that, as Bruce was saying, Stronglite was planning on introducing a new face cradle, and we've talked about it. But and I'm very happy that he feels comfortable pre-announcing it here. That's great.
And what
we actually sent off the prototype to the manufacturer last week, so it's getting closer.
Awesome. Great.
And Bruce,
I have to say, I'll just put in, also regarding face cradles that, face cradles have been one of the toughest pieces to get working, not just on chairs but on tables. Every time I get a table massage and I have to put my face down in a face cradle, it's rarely a pleasant experience, because of the pressure against the sinuses, and I always end up stuffed up, and I end up, crabby. Regarding it. Fortunately, the pressure on a chair is not as bad on a face cradle in a chair, but on a chair, you have to, as I guess the listener was noting, you have to really, be able to adjust it so that the neck is comfortable for the customer, and then during the massage, almost inevitably, if they're relaxing, because they're more upright, their body sinks lower, and oftentimes the face cradle, their face in the face cradle goes out of adjustment, and so it's not uncommon when we're doing a chair massage that when we get to a portion where we're working on the neck, if it's later in the massage, we oftentimes will have to ask people to readjust themselves into the face cradle for that. So face cradles are definitely tricky, and but I think we're getting closer and closer to perfection on that. The perfect massage chair will probably be one that doesn't fold up. Once we've got stationary chairs in massage salons or studios that are hydraulic and tricked out with all sorts of bells and whistles, and that I'm looking forward to that day, and that's probably a generation away.
And then somebody asked, does a new model have one or two hinges, or how many?
I'm a little bit confused by that question. The new face rest is going to have, it'll adjust, it'll reticulate, it'll actually adjust up and down, and 180 also. We've also fixed, there's no bar in the way for your chin, but the main thing that we have is it'll be memory foam, and it's actually fitted to your face, so rather than being flat, so you lay on it flat, it actually fits into your face. If anybody's ever tried a Flex Rest, which is an Earthlight product, it bends, and it bends around your face. This is actually already bent and just makes your face fit down kind of into it a little bit more with memory foam. I don't know if that answered the question.
Yep, it looks like it did. And then somebody asked about fainting during a chair massage. And
so that's one of the differences between chair massage and between table massage. It's rare that somebody would experience any syncope, which is the medical term for fainting, on a table. Fainting has many etiologies, and most of them unknown. Most of them, when people faint, it's not clear why that happens. But the mechanism of it tends to be a rapid drop in blood pressure, and if that happens, then and you're standing up, then blood is no longer being able to push against gravity up into the brain. And so we've got a clever mechanism in our brains that when blood isn't flowing up there to the degree that it should, our brain tells us to lay down, and it does that by losing consciousness. It's a very effective way to lay down, and when you're prone, gravity is better able to move blood into the brain, even with low blood pressure, with a blood pressure drop. So it rarely happens on a table because people are already prone, and blood, just by the flow of gravity tends to move more easily to brain. So this was something that we noticed early on in chair massage, that occasionally, although for some reason it seems to be happening less and less, occasionally people would experience symptoms of fainting, and sometimes faint get away in a chair. So that's always been one of the things that we've talked about in the classes that I've taught. And I know Eric Brown, who has a school of chair massage up north in Canada, deals with that in his curriculum as well. And it can be, as I say, it can be caused by a wide variety of issues, from constricted blood flow that may occur from bad positioning in the face cradle, if the neck is constricted, if the blood vessels in the neck are constricted, to things like it seems to have some relationship to blood sugar levels. So if people miss a meal, it certainly relates to blood volume. If you're doing chair massage outside in the sun and don't have a cover, and people are sweating, that reduces your blood volume and can trigger a syncope episode. Or likewise, in the gym, a classic situation is doing chair massage in a gym in the morning on somebody who has just worked out, just sweated, and missed or bypassed their breakfast. So different environments, can produce different levels of risk and need for caution. But if you know that it can happen, there are you can be on alert for it occurring during massage by just paying attention to any rapid change in skin temperature, hot and sweaty or cold and clammy, can signal an episode. If somebody starts lifting their head off the face cradle as though to take a breath or yawn, that's also an indication that they may not be getting enough oxygen to their brain, and blood may not be flowing. And so if you see any of those indicators, then you'd stop the massage and check in with them, and if need be, get them out of the chair with their head lower than their heart, and they're on the floor or just leaning forward on their knees like that. Yeah.
And somebody says some of their taller clients have told them that they don't stretch their legs enough when they're folded up in that position. So
one of the things I like about the Stronglite chair is that for customers with clients with long legs, or thick legs, or problematic knees, the Stronglite chair is the only one, which is amazing to me, but it's the only one that the leg rest can come off independently or together, so people can put their feet flat on the floor, and that's a great advantage for certain folks if they're not comfortable in the chair. The other thing I might note here is that in terms of circulation in the legs, is that we generally don't recommend that no chair massage be longer than 30 minutes, because in 30 minutes time, you're not really, the customer doesn't really have the ability to move like they do. You can kind of squirm around when you're laying on a table, and you can make minor motions and turn over or whatever. But in a chair, you're pretty much locked into one position. And so after 30 minutes, you have to be careful, because you may, instead of enhancing circulation like a good massage does, the chair may begin to inhibit it. And so we always think of 30 minutes as kind of in general being the outside of the length of maximum length of a chair massage.
And then somebody asked, does scaling's work have anything to do with it, would you say, if you're working on the scaling muscles? Any place that you're working can produce some effect. I mean, there's all sorts of weird things that can produce now, wait a second, I'm not sure, was that question about fainting or about circulation? Fainting.
Fainting, yeah.
Yep.
So, there's, for example, there's a relationship, between fainting and seizures. So it is possible to trigger seizures as well, and seizures can be triggered from any number of issues. One of which might be certain types of seizures are triggered by unexpected pain, and so pinching or releasing of pinching or whatever surprise pain can trigger some those types of effects as well. I mean, there's honestly, if you read the literature, there are so many etiologies that are possible for syncope that it's virtually you just have to be careful. You can't screen for them all. You can't name them all. You can't prevent them all because you don't know about them all. Nobody knows about them all. But the other thing I would hasten to add is that if you are aware of the possibility of the problem and conscious while giving a massage to any pre-syncope symptoms, it would be rare that anybody would actually faint dead away in your chair. It's not so rare that people don't experience some symptoms, but it is rare as long as you're paying attention for people to actually faint. So I don't want to scare anybody away from chair massage or make the syncope issue a bigger issue than it actually is. It's my last business, which was a retail chair massage business in downtown San Francisco. It may be, out of the thousands of massages that we did over the course of a couple of years there, maybe 3 times did people experience symptoms of fainting. And of course, we're very aware and we always screen for it, and so nobody fainted it away.
And then if somebody does faint, are you supposed to catch them, would you say, or kind of break their fall a little bit, or let them drop? Or
Yeah. Well, if like I say, if you have to worry about that, then you haven't been doing your job right. So again, I want to emphasize that fainting does not happen as long as you do some screening for it, and are aware of kind of the major things about blood volume and drop problems with blood pressure and positioning in the chair and all the basic types of things. If you're aware of that and then watch for pre syncope symptoms during the massage, it's not going to happen. It's so rare. Now, if it does happen, if you haven't been doing that, if you haven't listened to this radio program, then it's very difficult for you have to be pretty strong to get somebody who's fainted dead away off of a chair by yourself. As long as they're solidly fixed in the chair, you need to get somebody else to help you lift the person out of the chair, unless you're the governor yourself and strong enough that you can make that move on your own.
And then somebody asked about chair massage and hip replacement. Is the angle of the hip contraindication because it gets smaller than 90 degrees, would you say?
Interesting. I stopped working on hips in the chair, and used to be in our protocol in our classes that we worked on hips, but we've for a number of reasons we've stopped working on the hips. We do in the massage chair with them in the forward position. We work from the waist up. In the reverse position, which you can do with the Stronglite chair, you can turn people around in the chair and elevate their legs. In the reverse position, we work from the knees down. And part of the reason is because the hips are probably the most, the diciest part of the massage. It's the most vulnerable area that we would be massaging, and the one that is most prone to misinterpretation by customers. Now, remember the primary function of chair massage is to make skilled touch, safe, convenient, and affordable for the largest amount of people. So it's not unusual to have people getting their first massage in a massage chair, and we don't want any misconstruing of our intentions. And if you stay above the waist, it's pretty hard to misconstrue any of the massage techniques that might be used. And so that's one reason that we took the hip work out. The second reason is because one of my long-term goals is to regulate massage in the chair separately from massage on the table, because I don't believe that the two need to be regulated in the same kind of a way. And we've made some progress in that on a city level in some places like San Francisco, separating the two portions of the industry. And the idea, when you want to separate them out, you have to have a definition of what's chair massage. And so the easiest definition that I know of is from the waist up and the knees down. And so that's the areas that, I'm certainly open to change on that, but we're still in the very early stages of talking about that. But that's my working definition at the moment, is that anybody who's massaged in an upright position, seated position, from the waist up and the knees down, we call that chair massage.
Hey, Ryan, I want to interject here. This is Bruce.
Yep.
We've been talking a lot about hips, and we talked a little bit about taking the knee rest off, and a lot of people don't understand that or see it. You and I did a video where we showed that. Do you have that?
Yep. You want me to break away a little bit and play that?
What is it? Is it a couple minutes?
Yep.
If it's not too much, it might be interesting to kind of show what we're talking about.
Okay. Is that okay, David?
Sure, that's
Okay.
great. Yeah.
Okay. I'll break away for a moment and just got to set up something really quick.
Well, if it's too much, I thought if it works, it'd be great. I think it might be interesting for people to see. It's really the only way to do that if you're trying to get people to get their feet on the floor.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, as I mentioned, I'm very surprised that all the massage chair companies haven't done that, because it's like one of those obvious things that when you do chair massage, it comes up, as the listener was pointing out. This is something that comes up, over and over again. The other main thing, as long as we're waiting for it to queue up here, another little thing that the Stronglite chair has that surprised me that every chair doesn't have is it's got a little pocket underneath the armrest to put people's eyeglasses in, or big watches, or whatever might get in the way. And boy, that is really handy too, particularly when you're doing event massage or workplace massage.
Okay, I'm all ready to go. You ready?
Great.
Hi, my name's Bruce. I'm with Stronglite Massage Tables, and I want to demonstrate our favorite chair, which is the Ergo Pro chair. One of the first things I want to show you is the ease of setup. Most chairs take a long time and a lot of calculation to set up. This chair just, boom, it sets up. You put the armrest up, adjust the chest plate, and you're up and going. One of the things I want to talk about on this chair are some of the unique features that are not available on any of the other chairs that I know of. Most chairs, when you adjust them, they don't move independently from the seat and the chest plate. This chest plate moves completely independently of the seat, no matter where it is. The seat is adjustable in height. That has nothing to do with the chest plate, with the telescoping legs. And the thing that's nice about that is it's for the ergonomics of the therapist. You can move this seat up or down to fit you for your body mechanics, so you don't injure yourself. For your ease of your and comfort of your client, this is great, especially for large people. This chair is one of the most flexible chairs you can use. You get a large person coming up that's not really comfortable putting their feet or their knees up on the knee rest. The knee rests just come off completely, and it's the only chair that I know of that does that. So that's some of the great features of the Ergo Pro, and I just wanted to share that with you today. and let us know if we can help you at Stronglite.
Cool.
Okay. So,
And did you see that little pocket swinging down from the front of the armrest too?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan. I think that clarifies it. People always ask me, "What do you mean it comes off?" It's so simple.
Yeah, it is very simple. And the thing, I can't believe other people haven't really got into that. And one thing I want to point out too is back in the late '90s when I was in massage school, I actually got a client stuck in a chair just because they couldn't bend their knees and stuff.
Yeah.
And that it was when I was in massage school. So just to clarify that part, okay.
Well, one of the great things about, for elderly people who, you can, if the leg lifts come off, you can just have them, kind of straddle a little bit, and slide the chair in between the seat in between their legs, and then have them sit down. And likewise, when they're getting up, you can just have them get up and then pull the chair out from underneath. So if they're a little frail, sometimes that's a good technique as well.
Yes, definitely. And then, where do you see chair massage going in the next 10 years? Would you say? I mean, you kind of basically started it, but now where do you actually see it going in the next 10 years?
Well, I wrote an article in the mid '90s predicting that by the year 2000, more people would be giving and receiving chair massage than any other kind of body work, and it taught me a lot of things. It taught me first to be careful what I predicted in writing. I could leave behind because I was totally wrong, obviously. But I went back and looked at that article a number of years ago, and realized that what I had predicted, what actually I thought would happen, was that I thought retail chair massage, in other words, chair massage studios, that were full wall places that would contain 3 or 4 or 5, 6 massage chairs, would become popular in the same way that in the mid 1980s the nail salons just seemingly sprung up overnight. It used to be you could only get a manicure in a high-end hair salon, and then almost overnight they became freestanding. And I thought, geez, if they could do that with nail salons, we should be much more easy to do that with chair massage. No closed doors required. A lot less space than a table massage facility, and easy to set up and easy to move forward. Well, what happened was basically nothing, not a lot. There were some attempts to create chair massage salons, but they were pretty short-lived, and they seemed to have a lot of problems. So that's when, about 7 years ago, I began working on that end of the industry. I've never worked in a retail chair massage facility or built one myself. And so I began working on that issue and created a successful model for owner-operated, as it turned out, owner-operated chair massage salons, studios. Then there's the one that I created is still operating in downtown San Francisco. It's called Breakpoint Massage, and it's in the financial district. And I think that's a direction that still is wide open in the next 10 years. That's going to continue to grow. The most interesting thing is that in chair massage, I think, is that just like nail salons in the 1980s were created by an immigrant group of new immigrants to the country, specifically South Koreans, and the influx there at that point in time. There was a lot of immigrants from South Korea trying to get their foot on the economic ladder, climbing up the economic ladder in the U.S., and they did it through nail salons most successfully. Well, it seems like the same thing is happening with Chinese immigrants. So you can hardly go to a mall these days without seeing a group of Chinese immigrants doing chair massage outside of four walls. They're just setting up their chairs in an open space in the mall, and that to me is fascinating. And they are inexpensive and becoming ubiquitous. So it's a kind of an interesting trend, and I think that will help to drive people's familiarity with chair massage. Now, the unfortunate thing is that, at least in my experience, and I've talked with a lot of people who've across the country who've tried those services, is that they the East Asian culture has a different idea about massage. It tends to be that the stronger massage is what's preferred, and so I got a little nervousness that that chair massage will get a reputation as beat 'em up massage, and because they're pretty strong, these guys working on folks. And I happen to like strong massage, so that's fine with me. But having worked in a Japanese spa in the early 80s, I know that a lot of people don't like strong massage, and certainly working in a chair massage studio in downtown San Francisco, you get the broad range of requests for amounts of pressure. And so, but that aside, I'm really just excited that they're spreading the good word about the possibility of making massage as easy to get as a haircut, and perhaps even easier to get than a haircut. Less time, less money. So I think that's going to be a trend of the future. The third thing I'll just briefly mention is that I think we're going to start to see very, very slowly. It's the industry has kind of not been so responsive to chair massage. It's always the massage schools and the massage industry has always treated chair massage like a second-class citizen, unfortunately, to table massage. And whereas I, of course, think it's a specialty, and it's interesting to note that the only real entry-level program that starts with chair massage is Eric Brown's school up in Toronto. And there's no schools, to the best of my knowledge, that provide an entry-level program in the United States, which makes sense because in the United States, the trend has been toward making massage into massage therapy, and thus, entry level in most schools in most states now is in the 500-hour range. Well, quite frankly, you don't need 500 hours to learn how to do a chair massage, and that's that's quite overkill. But our system now is in the United States has moved toward creating toward massage therapy being entry level into the profession. I don't think it is. I mean, massage is entry level into the profession, and massage therapy, I think, is advanced training. So on the one hand, I think that for entry level training in massage schools, we train too long. We don't need 500 hours to get people started in the field. But on the other hand, I think it's too little because I'm very conservative on the issue of training, and I don't think that 500 hours is enough to train somebody to become a massage therapist. Most of the people I meet graduating from massage school feel, less than adequate in terms of their training to hold that title, and I think rightfully so. I'm more interested in the Ontario Canada model, which is about 2,100 hours, or the British Columbia model, which is about 3,000 hours for training as a massage therapist, and those make much more sense to me, those numbers of hours. So there's this, what I hope will happen is that we'll begin to separate out massage from massage therapy again after some 20 years of moving toward the massage therapy direction, and I think that job has been done. I think that people now understand that there's a difference between adult entertainment massage and therapeutic massage, And now what we need to do is refine our categories of therapeutic massage at the least into massage and massage therapy, into those two categories, and bring back that conjunction that was taken out of the middle of the American Massage Therapy Association's name.
And then with safety standards, do you require people to do health forms at all, or just many things, or do you do like a verbal informed consent? What do you recommend for people to do?
Yeah, good question. Nobody sits in our chair, any of the chairs that we control, without having been screened. We do see chair massage as a specialty, and we do screen for basic things. I mean, the first thing you want to know, since chair massage is so public, is whether, and we do get a lot of first-time folks, is whether somebody has had a chair massage before, or any professional massage before. So we do that level of screening. In other words, our job is to give them the best possible experience that we can for massage, and certainly for first-time massage people. So we're very cautious about that. We put them in control of the amount of pressure that we use, and make sure they understand not only that they can tell us at any time if anything's uncomfortable, but that we're also going to ask them like a pop quiz during the massage for feedback about pressure. We consider that to be very, very important in terms of the relationship that we're creating in this 10, 20, 30 minutes, whatever. We also, do a basic musculoskeletal screening. We want to know if there's any places in particular that we need to avoid. So we're not in the business of doing massage therapy typically in a chair, although there are some folks who do very good massage therapy work in a chair, but they tend to do it in a session that might be a bit longer than 10 minutes, because if you're doing medical work, then you really need to do a much more thorough medical screening. But we're doing a musculoskeletal screening, basically. But we're also checking to see if they have any chronic conditions besides acute conditions, any chronic conditions that might be that we might need to be cautious about in the chair, and that would include things like high uncontrolled conditions like such as high or low blood pressure, diabetes, epilepsy, things that we would want to know about if they were being treated for. If somebody's being treated for any of those conditions, then it's not a concern of ours. But if it's a recently diagnosed condition, then we tend to stay away from those folks. Screening is extremely important. And the other part of our screening process is to tell people where we're going to touch them, so that they know there's no surprises. So I'm going to be working on your neck, your shoulders, your back, the upper back, lower back, arms, hands, and a little bit of the scalp. It only takes a few seconds to say that, but and as I say it, I always touch those parts on my body, so the people who receive information through their eyes better than through their ears also know what I'm talking about. So yes, we do a screening protocol. If you can do it in writing, which is great, or you can do it verbally. And if you do it verbally, you can incorporate it into the beginning of the massage as well, too. But definitely nobody sits down in a chair unless they've had some screen.
And then somebody asked, what do you think massage schools in America, do you think they're going to go towards a higher training amount of hours?
Yes, I do think that's the trend. I do think that's a clear trend. And it's being driven by the laws as laws change. Like, for example, in California, we just got a title licensure law, and it hasn't percolated throughout the whole state yet, but it definitely is going to trend the entry-level hours higher, and they've got two levels right now. I believe there's a 250 or 300-hour level and a 500-hour level, and the lower level is going to be phased out within about three or 4 years. So, yeah, it's definitely trending higher, which I think is great if you're talking about massage therapy. The problem is, as I mentioned, that what it unfortunately does is make it more difficult for people to get into the profession who just want to do massage. As a matter of fact, in some ways, I think you could make an argument. I make the argument that our massage industry is built, educational system is built upside down. I think what people should learn first is how to touch and be touched, and that's massage. And then later, they should, if they're good at that and they'd like to do that, then later they should learn how to do therapy. But most people are not looking for the ambulance at the bottom of the cliff. Most people are looking for the guardrail at the top. They just want to feel better. And massage is a great guardrail. It's the enhancement of circulation so that the body can heal itself. And that's an incredible gift to give to somebody, is to help them feel better right now and to improve their circulation so that their body can be activated to do its own self-healing. If they fall off the cliff, then yes, you need massage therapy. and I'm a big fan of massage therapy, but I don't think our industry should be built on creating the ambulances at the bottom of the cliff. I think it should, the fundamentals of the industry should be built on creating the guardrail at the top of the cliff. And I think chair massage is a great guardrail, and particularly good because its price point is so much lower than table massage. There's only 3 groups of people that get regular table massage, and that's the very wealthy, the very fanatical like me who aren't wealthy but who believe that an investment in table massage on a regular basis is going to keep me healthy. And the third group are the people who are so desperate, in pain, that they'll pay any amount of money to get out of it. Those are the people getting regular table massage. Everybody else who gets table massage is getting it on their birthdays, on their anniversaries, on their cruise ships, on their vacations, once a year, twice a year maybe. And that's not good enough for me. I believe in massage so passionately, in the value of massage so passionately. I think everybody should be getting it and be able to access it on a regular basis. Whether the price point is $70, $80, $90 a shot, that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. That's a totally unrealistic expectation that I don't believe that the industry has come to grips with yet. So if I was ruling the world, the massage world, I'd make everybody learn chair massage first, which is the kind of massage that most people need and are willing to get, because it doesn't involve the hassles of taking off your clothes, going into a private room, and oil and all that stuff. And the price point is affordable for them. And if that was the fundamentals of our industry, I guarantee you that a lot more people would graduate into my category of regular table massage, the fanatics, who will put out more money because we see the value of regular table massage. So my vote is to create more chair massage schools and allow them to exist in the regulatory climate in a free-flowing way, and probably we're talking schools that are 200 to 250 hours long, and if you give me that amount of time, I can train the best chair massage practitioners in the world and get them started in a good career.
And then somebody asked, what do you think about chair massage that goes on for 2 to 3 hours, like in a chair at a poker table? Have you ever heard of that before?
Wow. I haven't been watching the reality shows enough, obviously. Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah, as I mentioned before, I think that there's a point of diminishing returns if you're too fixed in one position, as is true in any posture situation. So if you can't move, 30 minutes is pretty much the limit. I think you have to get up and be able to stretch those legs out, and stretch the hips out. Absolutely.
Hey, Ryan, it's Bruce again.
Yep.
People asking about getting a chair. Let's do a massage nerd special for the week.
Okay.
And give anybody that's interested 15% off and free shipping.
Okay, so 15% off and free shipping, and through Stronglite, though, right?
Yeah, through Stronglite, just have them call in. Or if you want, Actually, David, are you interested in doing that?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, we'd be happy to give them up.
So David's one of our distributors, and
Okay.
maybe you could just post his 800 number there, and
Okay.
and I'll work with David on that. So 15% off, free shipping. Call Touch Pro, or who is it? Touch Pro?
Touch Pro Institute, yeah, and you can go online too. We got an online store, but and the telephone numbers on there. We won't have the ability to do the discount except over the phone.
Okay, perfect. Yep. And then I'll also post that on my Facebook account and everything else, so we'll get the word out definitely. Okay.
Wonderful.
And I had
Great.
That's awesome. And I had a question too. I mean, before 9/11, you used to hear about chair massage in airports a lot. Do you think that's gone down a lot then?
It changed. It definitely shifted. I mean, it was as everything did in airports after 9/11, and I think it inhibited. It was going pretty good. In 2001, it was really charging forward, and I think there was. That's a really interesting question. I haven't thought about that, but it definitely was inhibited by 9/11 and has not grown as fast as it could have. But I think it is still growing. Last time I did a survey, the number of airports with chair massage continues to grow. But yeah, you might have to search to find it in the larger airports. They tend to be only in one terminal or one place. And of course, they're on the other side of the security gates. So, for example, Anchorage Airport used to have chair massage in the airport before the security gates went up, and many people. The airport was so close; it was like 10 minutes from downtown Anchorage. People would drive to the airport just to get a chair massage. They weren't flying anywhere. They just go to get a chair massage. Well, all that has ended, of course. So it's tougher now, definitely. Yeah, good question.
Yeah. And what would you say is the average price for chair massage? I mean, of course, it all depends on the area where you where you're actually working and stuff. But
yeah, area and country. We used to say $1 a minute in the old days, and I think that still is happening in many places. But now you've got chair massage at events and in the workplace where it's charged by the hour oftentimes, and so you'll generally see it competitive to table massage prices for sure. $65, $75, $80, even $90 an hour, and then in more static situations where you're charging per massage. I think $1 a minute is still probably the bottom end, but the top end goes up to I think closer to $1.50, and sometimes even a little bit higher than that in some situations like airports where you've got a fixed. The overhead is a lot greater, and they got to pay a lot more bills to make that happen. So yeah, it's definitely moved off of $1 a minute in many locations. But it all depends on where what city, what environment you're in, and everything's negotiable. But I haven't seen anything below $1 a minute for a long time.
Okay, and then somebody asked, is there a place to check out the chair? Do you have a list of schools in the various areas that they can actually go see the chair, or is there any?
It really depends on where they're at. If they just call into Stronglite, we can tell them if there's somebody in the area.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's probably the easiest way.
And something I always wanted to ask too of you. I mean, I myself, I remember reading about you way back in the '90s, so it's a really honor to actually talk to you, David. But what kind of supplies would you bring along to a massage if you're going to go out in the public and give chair massage? What are some of the main things that you would actually bring along?
Great question. So the obvious things are the face cradle covers and the handy wipes to wipe down the chair. We have a hygiene protocol between each customer where we wipe off all the face cradle and the armrest and any part that might have had skin to vinyl contact, we wipe that off, and even in the Stronglite chair, it still has the bar for the face cradle, so we wipe that down too. And the one, so face cradle covers and handy wipes are two most obvious things. The one that's less obvious is hair ties. So we always carry hair ties with us, little scrunchies for people with longer hair, because it's a real advantage to not have hair on the neck or on the shoulders, and have to be brushing it out of the way. And it's just a real easy thing to an inexpensive thing to bring along with you. And then other types of supplies that are a little more optional, like facial tissue clinics, type things, and of course music if you're going into the offices, having your MP3 player and speakers and like that, yeah. But pen and paper, depending on the circumstances. But the three big ones are the face cradle covers, handy wipes, and hair ties.
Is there any certain face risk covers that you recommend at all, or? So you can get them from so many places nowadays. They're real easy to find. But it was interesting, the evolution from paper towel to holes cut into nurses' caps, to finally getting the disposable ones that fit around the crescent face cradle covers. Boy, were we happy when those came. And shop around. There's lots of different places. Yeah. And then somebody asked about the hair ties. Is there single-use ones, or do you usually wash them?
You can't replace those. But I got a recommendation for what you do with them after they've been used. I'm a bit of a techno nerd. I got my first computer in 1982, and so I've always had a lot of cables and power cords to tie up, and so that's what I use mine for. They're a lot better than rubber bands, they're great. So I keep a good handful around. And, actually, we let the customers take them with them if they want to. And regular customers, like at my old massage studio in San Francisco, would bring their own and bring them back and keep it in their purse or whatever.
And then for do you, in your marketing classes, do you explain how to contact businesses to give chair massages that way, or what actually entails with your marketing class?
Yeah, that actually is exactly what's in the marketing class. So what we're interested in is teaching an approach to marketing that allows people to figure out what their best environment and best chair massage market and services they are that they can provide. So we're big on, as I said, my second interest besides touch is meaningful work. So I want to make sure that when people become entrepreneurs and create their own chair massage businesses, you might as well create a business that you love. Don't create a business working with, for example, people that you hate. so if you want to, so we talk a lot about the different markets for chair massage, and just real briefly, the three main categories of chair massage markets are the event markets, like the conventions and trade shows and weddings and funerals or whatever, and secondly, the workplace market, where you're going into various kinds of workplaces, and thirdly is the retail chair massage market, where you've got a location, an establishment, that people are coming to you as opposed to you going to them. But within those main categories, there's just incredible variety, and people have created very narrow niches for specialties in doing chair massage. You could, for example, just choose a building in a commercial district or just a neighborhood in smaller communities and focus on providing chair massage to a geographic location. You can provide chair massage to subcategories of professions, like just focus on the attorneys or the CPAs or the creative artists, workers or the high tech workers, and become specialists in those. I know one woman who became a specialist working with in dentist offices on the hygienist and the dentist and the dental office staffs. So there's a multitude of subcategories within those three, and what we do is try to delineate them and draw them out of people's contacts that they already have, connections that they already have, and help people identify markets that they'd enjoy working in.
And one thing is, too, I mean, sometimes a huge, gigantic corporation, is there a main area of the business that you might want to get a hold of first? Would you say, like, human resources, or is there any way to get a little bit of in?
Yeah, so that's a good example, because, when people ask that question, my first response is, if you have to ask that question, then maybe that shouldn't be the first place that you go and try to get service at. Because the best markets are always markets that are extensions of your already existing network of contacts and community. If you're not familiar with the culture, the corporate structure and culture of major corporations, that's a big, pretty steep learning curve that you have to go through to get yourself up to speed. Unless you, in fact, go through your list of friends and contacts at acquaintances at church and social clubs you belong to, and find somebody, happen to run across somebody who is located in a major corporation and willing to be your advocate from the inside out, But if you don't, if you're not familiar with the culture, there's so many markets for chair massage. Some people think that they have to go after the biggest, the first, and oftentimes that's not the best way to go, because the level of expectation on the part of the companies in terms of who they're dealing with tends to be pretty high. And if you don't have your act together, it's much better to start smaller and figure out what it is you like to do and who you like to do it on, and then over time you can work your way up the ladder a little bit.
And then somebody asked, how often throughout the year do you do seminars with massage chair training?
Well, I just got out of this 7-year hiatus where I was barely teaching at all because I was focusing on developing this retail model. And now that it's developed, I'm starting to do some more teaching. And if anybody's interested in having a seminar, I've got actually myself and a crew of trainers who teach the Touch Pro approach to chair massage, and it's as I say, a very specialized approach, and we treat our practitioners as specialists. Matter of fact, that's what we call them now. We call them chair massage specialists because it really is a specialty. And you can contact me through the website, through Touch Pro Institute, or just DP for David Palmer at touchpro.com. Drop me an email. And if you're interested in bringing a Touch Pro seminar to your area, I'd be happy to work with you on that. I've been considering doing a tour and setting up a tour and just kind of going around the country and maybe even around the world. We've got Touch Pro location in London and in Copenhagen and in Quebec City up in Quebec province, where outside the U.S. we're already teaching. And so, yeah, I'm moving in that direction again, although I have to say that what I really want to be spending my time on mostly is writing projects. I still have a couple of books in me beyond the ones that I've put together already. Yeah.
This is Bruce again. What might be a great idea, David, is to do some of these in conjunction with a couple of the shows that I know Ryan's involved with, and maybe do a little bit of a tour out there where there's a show and people might be coming anyway. So and Stronglite could even sponsor something like that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yes,
Ryan, we got a project.
Yep. And I'm always open to it. And then somebody said they just ordered a chair, but the thing is they Let me see. What just ordered it and did not give the 15% discount. But remember, we said that you have to call in, so I just told her to call you tomorrow.
Yeah,
then
wait till tomorrow morning, please.
Yep. No, call them at home.
Wait till 8 o'clock West Coast time.
Yeah.
If you ordered on the web, just have her call in. We'll take care of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. And then with chair massage, I mean, when people go out in public to give chair massage, do you have to get a permit sometimes, or?
Yeah, so good question. Chair massage is regulated just like just like table massage. So we don't train people who don't already, do table massage, because there, in most places, is no separation, separate regulation for chair massage. So it's regulated under the table massage laws, and so we don't train people who either, they either have to have already graduated from massage school or be in a professional training program before we'll train them. So chair massage right now is considered continuing education. It's not considered entry level.
Okay. And then somebody said they took a Stronglite class a few years ago with that Minnesota AMT 3 years ago in Bloomington. Were you in charge of that too then, or?
You said it's a Stronglite class.
Yep.
Did you mean Touch Pro?
Yeah, it must be Touch Pro, but she said Stronglite. Yep.
And where was this?
It was in Bloomington, Minnesota, and it's 3 years ago.
Bloomington. It's possible. I actually don't remember myself. So
that was a while ago. Yeah.
I couldn't speak to it. 3 years ago, no. 3 years ago, definitely we weren't teaching up in Minnesota. So it was somebody else that was doing that. Yeah.
Yep. And then somebody asked, Touch Pro seminars, are they NCB, TMB, continuing education credits?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay. And what is the Touch
And
Pro?
on our website, the handouts are available from the seminars too. So if you can't wait or can't get to a seminar, you can always purchase the handouts, and they're pretty thorough. They contain 2 DVDs that review the complete seminar, and also have practice modules, and 1 audio CD for practice, plus a 75-page handbook for the technique portion of the class, and the marketing portion has a 200-page book. Like that.
Okay. And then what does the classes entail then?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that one.
What do the Touch Pro classes entail? The chair massage.
So the technique class teaches a 15-minute kata, which we consider to be the core routine, and from that you can drop that down to 5, 10, or 15 minutes, or expand it to 20 minutes pretty easily that way. So we do also do 30-minute versions. The 30-minute one requires additional training to do, but everything from 5 to 20 minutes can be done with the information that you learn in the 15-minute sequence in the class.
And are you a big proponent of actually learning a routine, especially first, and then still staying with the routine, or keeping that routine and then modifying it, or?
Yeah, that's definitely part of the Touch Pro approach, and this is one of the ways that we really distinguish ourselves from most of the massage profession. Actually, as far as I know, we're the only folks who teach what we call a kata, which is a martial art term. It's a Japanese term, and it just means the form. So it's a highly choreographed sequence of acupressure points of Japanese massage techniques, and put together in a sequence is designed to create the maximum impact in the shortest amount of time. And the idea, but it goes actually a lot deeper than that. The reason I do a kata is so that I can pay attention to what I consider to be the most important things that are happening in the chair massage, and that is actually ultimately what we're doing is providing a relationship based on touch, not talk. And so I want to focus on that relationship. I want to study what's going on underneath my hands. And I have not done a chair massage, received a chair massage, watched a chair massage being done, taught a chair massage, thought about a chair massage mentally, that I haven't learned something. And even though the acupressure points are based on traditional Chinese medicine, which is 4,000 or 5,000 years old, I haven't gotten to the bottom of those points yet. I got to tell you, the Japanese massage techniques are 1,400 years old, and I haven't gotten to the bottom of them yet. I haven't mastered them yet. and the relationship, having a relationship with another human being, I'd never thought to be a slapdash affair, and it requires a lot of intensity study and connectedness. And I haven't gotten to the bottom of that either. I haven't gotten to the bottom of relationships yet either. So I've got my hands full every time I do a 10 or 20-minute massage, and it's never become boring for me. And people who study it, study the kata. I'm not a master of massage. Like the kata is the master, and if I study the kata, then just like in Tai Chi or in meditation, if you study the kata, it creates space for you to pay attention to the most important kinds of things that are going on. And I consider the most important things to be the relationship that's based on touch and not talk. And so, yes, we've got a very particular approach, because we don't have to worry about massage therapy. So, thank God, so that's a much higher level than we operate on. But honestly, I think that learning how to, just like I said at the beginning, I thought I wanted to be a welfer, a deep tissue practitioner, the original deep tissue work, and I just got so caught up at being a beginner. I've never successfully been a beginner yet, and so I keep trying to learn how to do the beginning level, which is the level of touch, and if I manage to get to a place where I feel like I really understand what's going on the touch level, then maybe I'll start studying massage therapy too.
And is there anything that you've regretted over the years about chair massage that you would have incorporated, or?
Well, the only regret I have is that the chair wasn't developed a year sooner. Because that 1985, when they changed the name of the AMTA and made massage therapy entry level into the profession, I think was a crucial year. And the massage chair, the concept of seated massage, didn't come into the consciousness of the profession until a council of schools meeting on Labor Day just coming up, anniversary's coming up in 1986. And that's when 30-some-odd school owners were introduced to the concept of chair massage, seated massage, through the original massage chair. And if that had happened a year or two earlier, the whole course of the industry may have changed. And we may have gotten massage schools teaching chair massage first and table massage second. That's the biggest timing regret that I have.
And what do you think is a good amount of hours just for basic chair massage to be taught in schools?
Well, as I said, if you're going from zero to chair massage, in other words, if this is the first professional massage training you have, then I think the 200 to 250 hour range is good. But I hasten to add, when I talk about training, as I mentioned, I'm very conservative on this issue of training. The piece that I think is actually missing most in massage school training is the hands-on piece. Massage first and foremost is a hands-on skill, and I don't know of any other body-based skill, like playing a musical instrument or which is often compared to, or dancing, or even swinging a hammer, where the standard for those body-based skills tends to be about 3 hours of practice for every hour in the classroom. And I'm just stunned that the massage profession does it exactly the opposite way. It's 3 hours of classroom for every hour of hands-on practice on non-students, I guess, supervised practice on non-students, which is, you do not learn massage in a massage school. You learn massage by doing massage. There is no shortcut to that. And that's why we say the first 1,000 massages are the practice massages. And learning massage is a body-based skill, and there's no shortcuts to getting your hands on as many people as you can. That's not what's happening in massage schools, unfortunately. And to add insult to injury, we've got a national exam that doesn't even require you to touch people. Which has always been a source of great amusement, and I know that other professions look at us with incredulity, can you imagine becoming a phlebotomist and never demonstrating your ability to draw blood, or a pianist and never, demonstrating your hands-on ability? We've got a lot of work to do in the profession for sure, in order to reorient our educational system to produce the best practitioners possible. If you're teaching table massage, if you're table massage training, and then you want to learn some chair massage, I think if you've got we teach a 17-hour technique seminar, which is minimal because we do it on the road, and so we want to keep the cost down as much as possible, and that's why we provide such extensive handouts for people to follow up on their own after the seminar. But a minimum of 17 hours. If you're in a massage school, and you've got a captive population of students, I think if I was doing it, I'd be probably looking at more like 30 to 50 hours of training to get folks thoroughly grounded in the specialty aspects of chair massage.
Okay. And then with chair massage, I mean, some people do give like a 5-minute free chair massage in order to get the person on the table. Do you believe in that then, or?
Yeah, I think in certain circumstances, I don't believe in it all the time, but in certain circumstances, I think that works really well. The hardest thing to do is for a first-time customer is to get them into the chair to begin with, and it doesn't need to even be 5 minutes. Just massaging somebody's hand while they're standing up can be enough to convince them that you know what you're doing, or massaging their arm a little bit while they're standing up. There's all sorts of ways to market chair massage, but they really it really depends on the market that you're targeting and the environment that you're doing it in. So what you do in a gym will be different from what you do in an airport, different from what you do in a convention hall, and there are all sorts of different ways to go about it. But it's definitely free tasters or samples are one tool in the marketing toolbox.
Yes, definitely. And then let me see. Somebody else has. Yeah, somebody says a good hand massage or even a basic neck massage. People usually get hooked after that. Yeah, that's so true. Because would you say chair massage is kind of the starting to get a full body massage? That most people go that route, or?
Yeah, look, because it's so much more accessible. It's the most accessible kind of professional massage out there. If somebody gets, and we've seen this all the time, if somebody gets comfortable getting chair massage on a regular basis, when they do have a musculoskeletal problem or a kind of a problem that a specialty kind of body work can address, they're much more likely to try it, because they've gotten over that issue of having a stranger touch stuff, which is a huge issue for most people, And once you get over that, then it becomes, it's like the world opens up. Your options for taking care of yourself through structured touch. There's a whole universe of possibilities. We've got to our credit and to our difficulty, massage comes in so many varieties and shapes and bodywork types. In terms of intention, in terms of technique, in terms of theoretical frameworks. Massage is just one of the. It's as varied as music is. As musical instruments and notes. On the piano and notes that you can play. It's cultural. It's got a physical aspect to it. It's really the most exciting profession I think to be in.
Okay, and is there any final words at all that we didn't cover, you think, tonight?
Well, yeah, I can talk for another few hours.
I could stay up.
I got to say that I'm really impressed with the questions that came through you or through the listeners too. I think we covered a lot of good territory tonight, and I thank everybody for participating. It's been very exciting to be a part of this conversation.
Yep, I love doing live stuff like this. And then, Bruce, you still there?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, it's like it was really great. The more time I spend with David, the better. I just hear new stuff all the time, and chair massage is just such an interesting animal for me because I've spent so much more time on table massage, but I think there's a lot of opportunity to touch a lot more people with chair, and it's just, I think, a great opportunity, and we're glad to be involved in it on the equipment side. And if there's ever anything we can do at Stronglite for anybody that's involved with schools or anything, we're available in here and want to be involved. So anything we can do, let us know.
And a month ago,
Stronglite gets my vote.
Yep. And just to let you know, I mean, with that Stronglite chair with the detachable knee rest, it's just awesome. I mean, you can't get better than that because I mean, so many people, if they have knee problems, I mean, it's so much more comfortable and. Yep. Okay. And then, yep. And then, just to let you guys know too, if you're just tuning in now, that this week they're giving a 15% off, and then plus free shipping and handling on the Ergo Pro chair, and only through TouchPro.com. Then, but you have to call in. So I'll make that link available too, and I've got it on my Facebook page and everywhere else too. So it's all available. So definitely take advantage of that, and the price is right too. I mean, you can't beat the price for a chair. I mean, I've seen some chairs that are $400 or $500 and stuff, but this you're definitely getting your money's worth and even more, I would say.
Yeah, great.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
Yep. Thank you, and thank you, David, and thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. My pleasure. Thanks for hosting it, Ryan, and look forward to talking with you some more.
Yes, definitely. Good night, y'all. Thanks for tuning in.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.